like, I know we don't take him for granted, but he really does so much in that when he's gone, it really takes a village to put this whole service together. So you're going to see a few people up here. The first of which is Sister Vicky, who's going to be speaking about an upcoming event. So let's welcome Sister Vicky up here.
I'm one of the villagers. So I just wanted to point out a couple of things in the announcement in case you missed it. One is couples dinner this Friday at Hum Tu restaurant in South San Francisco. I've never been there, but it sounds good. It's supposed to be a seafood restaurant. So I hope couples will join us. 7 o'clock? Yeah, 7 o'clock. The other thing that was on the announcement is it's called the Saturday Market. About 10 years ago or so, my mom started a church tradition here at church, which is a church rummage sale. And we've tried to do it every year, and it really brought out the community here in Pacifica. I don't know if you've noticed, but almost every weekend there's a garage sale going on in the neighborhood, and it's just really popular here. So we haven't done it in a while, and so Sister Anna and I have decided to sort of bring it back next month. But we're calling it now a Saturday Market. Sister Anna thought we'd give it a sort of a new spin. Aside from rummage sales, we're looking to invite food trucks. We've already invited a couple who owns their own coffee bar who will be selling, specialty coffees. We have someone who will be selling their artwork. So, if you're interested, if you're like a licensed baker or cook and you want to sell your goods, you're welcome to participate. It's $40 per table. So we'll set it up for you. We'll have you covered in a nice tent. And you just bring in your stuff. All you pay is the $40 and you keep your sale. So that's on Saturday, August 25 here at the church parking lot. So we're going to promote that. We're going to have banners out here in front of the church and out by the Safeway. And we're going to promote it through our Facebook, our social media, and things like that, and really let the neighborhood know. We haven't done it in so long, and it's one way to reach out to our neighbors in our community. And it's just a good way for even us as a congregation to come together and just have a good time. So just wanted to point that out, and you'll probably be hearing more about that in the coming weeks. Thank you. Hello?
Oh, great. So,
Actually, we're in the dance. He doesn't know.
And I don't know how to dance, so that would be so we're here to talk a bit about the couples ministry. As you saw, there's a dinner that we'll get to. So we're going to talk about the couples ministry through our couple, being a couple, I guess. So let's get back in the Wayback Machine and go back to the year 1997. So what was happening in 1997? Seinfeld was ending, the Backstreet Boys were beginning, and the average American spent 32 minutes a day online. So you probably spend 32 minutes online during the service. So things have definitely changed. And in March of that year, this stunning beauty took this guy with questionable fashionable sense to grab and to hold for better, for worse, and for forever. So this was our engagement photo. So you can see how much we've changed. You see, now I'm actually taller than Jennifer now. At the time. And she's only gotten more beautiful as time goes.
My hair is blonde. I love my gray hair. It was dark over there.
So the two people in this photo, had no idea about, I think at the time what it takes to be a couple. Not that we still don't, which is hard since we're leading the couples ministry, but jump in anytime. What I is it's definitely a journey. If you think that when we started, we were two people on different paths who just, our paths crossed. And then we decided to walk together now. So the thing about walking on the path is it's not just the two of us walking. Because if we're the ones walking, sometimes you start veering off. One of us starts veering off. There's a guide that you need with your walk. It's got to be God. God knows where you're going. We think we know where we're going on the walk, but he's the guide. He's got the GPS. He's got the right supplies, and he's gonna take us where we need to go. So I think when we started our walk, we didn't have that third component. So they always talk about third wheel, but God's the third wheel that you need when you're a couple.
Yeah, when two not so perfect people come together, there's gotta be the perfect one, which is Christ. And I love what Pastor always talks about a braid. When you see, I work with hair every day, and when you look at a braid, it looks like it's only two strands, not strands, but two bunch of hair put together, but actually the invisible part of that is God that glues us all as a couple. And when I married Sheldon, I was so caught up with the wedding. You want to look really good, and nothing against a big wedding. He paid for it. But anyways, yeah. What do you call? All I have to do is invite a lot of people, and people that he doesn't even know. So anyways, I envision myself, perfectly, walking down the aisle, just like, this Disney characters. My favorite one is Sleeping Beauty, where, a prince would climb up the tower and kill dragons, and while she was sleeping, he would kiss her and she'll wake up. As an adult, I look at that as a girl in a coma and some creepy guy trying to make out with her, and that should be illegal. But that's a whole new different story. But anyways, me as a single person, marrying Sheldon with Ethan, who was so sick, I never thought about how hard it is going to be for me to relate to him. But when I see him at the hospital, being so a loving father to Ethan, it made me realize this is the guy that I want to have children with, because even though I'm going to jump into this kind of situation, when you love someone, you love the people that comes with them. You embrace that. It wasn't easy, because it took me a while to realize how to be a parent until I had Owen and Allison. And I remember coming up to him and saying, complain about Ethan this and Ethan that. And he looked at me and said, it must be hard to be Ethan. And that was a slap on my face, because he's been through a lot, and so is Sheldon. You can always jump.
You had me at hello. Pastor last week mentioned about gifts, and one thing I always bring up in the couples ministry is your partner is your gift from God. A lot of times I have trouble getting up in the morning because of this one. Not because of that. She said she likes Sleeping Beauty, and she definitely likes to sleep. So the morning is her REM time, but a lot of times sometimes I'll wake up
Doing
and,
something without my knowledge?
is that I wake up in the morning and you know, that's the time I can like look at her and just think about where she came from in the Philippines and where I came from, LA, and her path's been a lot longer, but just everything that had to happen to bring us together. Her grandfather left before her mom was born, but there was that vacant in her mom's heart that she had to go look for her grandfather. That she went years later and found him, and lo and behold, where was he? Right by Lake Merced. My travel up here was nothing like that. When it was time to go to college, I could either stay home and take the bus and go to UCLA, or I could go somewhere else. I wasn't going to take the bus to school. So that's what brought me up here. But Ethan's what brought us together originally, but just everything that my first wife was a friend of her sister. Her sister told me something recently, which I didn't know, is in college, my first wife was a hotel restaurant management. That was what she was studying. Her sister didn't begin with that. She was a business major, but she switched majors, and that's how they met. And then when she came, my wife was here, and her sister came here, they reconnected. So what if she hadn't changed majors? I wouldn't be standing up here, or I might be, but not with her. You know, it's just amazing how. No, actually, no, I wouldn't be up here because she's Jen's the one that brought me to Bridgepoint, and Jen's really the one who brought me to God, because I thought I was doing my journey, but I was on a treadmill. Not really going anywhere. And it wasn't until Jen came, for those of you who were at the beginning of the service, she is definitely the Word of God. And just to have that in my life where I didn't have that before, and you could see why all these other things, at least for me, why all these other things had happened, why, Ethan was born in the circumstances he was born in, why her mom had her lost that she had to come find her father, why I didn't want to stay in LA, all those reasons. That's God at work, and it's bringing us together so she could speak the word of God into me and save me. So that's why I'm always late in the morning, because all that goes through my head every day. They're looking at her and just being thankful that this is who God chose for me. It helps that she keeps getting more beautiful, so that it makes it easy to look at it every day. So this is what we do in the couples ministry. Sort of, but one other thing we do, we usually meet on Thursdays, but we decided this time to meet the first Friday of the month. Hopefully open it up to a few more of you, and we'll be eating at Hung To or Hung Tu. I haven't been there either, but Dean says it's really good, so if you come and don't like it, go talk to Dean. And also, if your spouse is kind of weird about going to a ministry event, don't tell them. Tell them we're going out for dinner. Oh, Pastor Ed and Andrew here. It'll be, so kill two birds with one stone. But when we come together in our ministry, it's a really amazing group. We've got Josie and Ernie here today, who I think were born in '77. Then you have James and Kat, who were born in 2017, and you've got us in '97. So, and all the years in between. So that's 3 generations of couples. So there's really a lot to see and a lot to learn. And it's an awesome group. They just, when you see people kind of out of the formal setting here as couples, because here everybody's kind of sitting upright and next to each other and keeping the space between each other, but just to see how much they love each other, really. You think, like, maybe you actually thought they didn't, but to see them together. It's great to see.
Yeah, before we step down, I just wanted to say that, talking to young people, when they talk about marriage, it's so negative, and because you're so bombarded with what the world will say, and a lot of these people are like, it starts out with how they were raised, how they see their parents. I remember one time, Sheldon and I, we were in the kitchen, and we're very, he's very touchy, kissy, and I'm like that. What do you call it? And I'm like that with my kids. So I remember Owen said, he was eating there, and he said, I want that someday, Mom. And why not? I mean, look at us. We got some awesome parents here. This is what you want to look for. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, marriage it's the core of our society, the core of our community. It's very important for us to really come together as a couple. It is the foundation. My client just recently told me they had a baby. They're not married yet. They had a baby, and she said, reality started to sink in. And she said, Jen, if you would have the choice, would you choose? Should I choose him or my kid? And I said, I'm going to answer that in a biblical way. I said, when you choose your kid, your kid's it's gonna grow up without a father. You have to come together as a couple, as a husband and wife, because if that collapses, the rest is gonna go down. I can tell in that perspective she wasn't like understanding what I was saying, and I don't blame her. She really doesn't have God in her life, and I would be meeting with her more so I can like share the message. But our relationship is very important because it starts with the marriage when Adam and Eve got together, and for whole eternity, if you think about it, it's going to end in marriage, because our groom is Christ and his church is his bride is us, the church. So just if you look at it in that perspective, it's it's a celebration that's never going to end, no matter what. It's a win-win.
So thanks for your time. If you're a couple or thinking of being a couple, we encourage you to check out the couples ministry, and starting with this Friday, and let me know either after the service today or email me if you're going to attend, because even though we were saying how our Father prepared a room for us, Toe won't prepare a seat for you unless when you're going. So hope to see you there, and we'll turn it over to Tamina, who has a little glow about you today.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Just scoot this back because I'm short and I don't have Jen's cute platforms on. We're going to continue with the theme of awesome parents to Ethans. I have an Ethan. That's my Ethan over there too. You go looking at me with blank stares. So, as you noticed today, Pastor is in Convergence, and so I'm the one here for you today to give you a message. I'm not a pastor. I am not trained in the ecclesiastical sense in any way. Really, I'm a level 1 Christian, and who once in a while gets a message that the Lord wants to share with you, and then Pastor says, "Hey, why don't you go do that?" And I say, "Okay, boss." And so what I like to do by being here with you is share a little bit about what's been going on in my life and whatever God has put on my heart to give to you and share with you, and then hope that I don't get in trouble from Pastor. So with that, I want to tell you a little bit about kind of where I've been lately. Jaime, you have my slide somewhere? There we go. Happy July, first off. We've made it to the end. Where's Van? Happy birthday to Van. Yesterday was Van's birthday. Closing out the most awesome month, also known as the National Awareness Month of Lola K. The National Month of Lola K. I also happen to be a July baby, and so I love the July babies in this church because there are so many of us, and it's really, really cool. And we party all month. But the month of July, this month has been a little interesting for me. First off, because July in general is just a very busy time for me in a lot of different aspects. So at work, it's a very busy time. Our fiscal year closes up at the end of June, and then all the reporting and finance stuff and all that are due in the middle of July, right on my birthday, which is always a treat. And so I always have a lot to do. It's always really stressful, and I'm always like, oh my God, I hate my job, because it's the worst time of the year, and I'm just dealing with that. On top of that, you know, I'm here trying to lose weight, and Ethan's here putting Pringles in front of me, and I'm you know, looking at the scales going up, and I'm like, why am I not in control of what's going on here? And generally just kind of uncomfortable in my skin. And I realize, though, that part of that has to do with a couple things. Well, first off, my birthday, right? Because I don't know about you, but every time it's my birthday, I'm like, okay, one more year, you know, what have I done? Where am I? Where is my life going? What's going on? And secondly, this year was my 20th high school class reunion, which is irritating because you look at the pictures and you hope everybody's bigger, right? And as long as you are smaller than somebody else, you're good, right? But if everyone's like super skinny, you're like, I shouldn't have gone to this thing anyway. It's also my 10th law school reunion. Which is worse because everybody's like, shining star, best 40 under 40, and everything like that. And I'm like, shut up. So, it just makes me say, oh, okay, Lord, so I know I'm not supposed to be comparing myself to anybody else or anything like that, but what do I do here? What do I do is the question that came up because I came to this message very late. So what normally happens when I'm asked to give a message is that I sit in prayer for a long time and I say, Lord, let me know what you'd like me to share with your people, and you know, give me the message that you want me to give. Like I said, I'm not trained in these things, so I can't just be like, we're going to study Job today because I don't know what happens in Job. But and then, you know, I do study and everything, come up with things. And normally, you know, it's a week or two ahead of the service where, you know, I'll start working on the PowerPoint, start working on the message, you know, crafting whatever it is that I've been asked to share. Well, come last weekend, I still didn't have anything. I said, okay, Lord, here I am again, coming to ask you, what would you like me to share? And I had this moment, this couple of weeks, where I didn't hear anything. Have you ever been in that situation where you've been in prayer and you don't hear anything? You want a message from God, you want an answer from God, and you're just not hearing anything? So that was me. So I'm not hearing anything. And we're coming down to the wire, and I'm freaking out. And I said, Lord, what do I do here? What do I do? Like, if you don't give me something, soon, I'm not going to have time to make my PowerPoint slides. And the Lord says, why do you need PowerPoint slides? I said, don't take my slides from me, Lord, it's all I have. And so then in the middle of my tantruming and whatever it is, then the Lord started to speak. But what came to me, what I noticed, can I get the next one, honey? Is that there are a lot of right now, people in my office, people in my life, people I know, who are going through a difficult time in one way or another. They're confused, they're frustrated, they're restless, they're in some sort of mess. I know a couple people who blame it on something, Mercury being in retrograde, or Saturn being in Uranus, or I don't even know how that stuff works. But when they say things like that, then it lets me know that they're having a rough time. Something's not feeling right to them. They're feeling very uncomfortable. They're feeling like something is not the way they want it to be. They're unfulfilled. They're discouraged. They're exasperated. They're overwhelmed. They're burdened with grief. And it always comes back to this question, God, what do I do? What do I do? How do I get past this? Where do you want me to go? What's going on? What do I do? And so I said, Lord, what do I do? And, okay. He said, well, I'm the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but have the light of life. I said, that's great, Lord, I know that. And I'm following you. I'm down. Let's do whatever you want to do. You just tell me where you want to go. I don't see the light right now. It's kind of dark. I'm supposed to have the light of life according to this. Follow. Step 1, follow. Step 2, never be in darkness. Equals have light, right? So where's the light, Lord? Where's the light? And I just, was in that area, and I said, okay, let's see. Let's go back to what Pastor was talking about. So Pastor said that you have to be in the vine. Right? And when you're in the vine, you'll be planted, you'll be nourished, and then give it a couple of years and you'll bear some fruit. Like, all right, cool. I've been here a couple of years. Am I supposed to be bearing fruit yet? Am I supposed to be am I supposed to be budding? Am I supposed to be really fruitful? Like, where am I supposed to be on all of this? What's the product that I should be getting to? I don't know where I am in all of this. And I said, okay, Lord, just fling me in the right direction. I know where you want, what you want for my life. Help me do this. Help me produce the fruit that Pastor says, or whatever it is, or stay nourished, or where I don't know where you want me to be, but just put me in these different places, and I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure you know what's going on, and so eventually I collapse on my bed, and I'm staring at my window, and in my window, on the windowsill, there's a plaque that actually Pastor gave to us for our wedding. And it just says, be still and know. And I said, very funny. And I said, what? Lord, be still and know. I said, I can't be still right now. There's a lot going on. And he said, be still. And I said, all right. So I opened my Bible and went to Psalm 46:10. He says, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. I said, okay. It's pretty simple. Next slide. And so the Lord says, here is my 2-step plan to sanity. I said, 2-step plan to sanity? Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear what the 2-step plan to sanity in my life is. Step number 1. Whoops. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Step number 1, be still. Step number 2, and know I'm God. I said, wait, let's go back. Step number 1, be still. I said, oh, Lord, I don't do still very well. And Lord says, oh my goodness, 2 steps and this chick can't get through 1. So I went to look it up. I said, okay, so let's see, what does this be still, what does that mean? Right? I'm a lawyer, I like to pick apart words, right? So I'm like, hey, well, Pastor goes back to the Hebrew, let's see what the Hebrew means. So in this passage, the word that is used for be still is rapha. That's the Hebrew on the side over here. And it means to slack, to let something drop, to put it down, to drop our hands, go limp, to relax. Another thing I don't do well. It even goes as far as to say, be disheartened, or let yourself be weak, and to let go, stop striving and surrender. And I said, okay, again, not something I do very well, but did God just tell me to chill out? I think God just told me to chill out. I said, okay, but Lord, I get it. I get that that's for big things. When big things happen, rely on you. I have a ton of little things. I am deaf by 1,000 paper cuts. There's a lot of little stuff going on, and it requires my action. It requires me doing stuff that you want me to do. And God said, be still. And I said, well, this is kind of like, a lot of stuff, right? I'm like, and so I said, are there other times that like people have been told to be still when like the whole world's going crazy around them? And God said, yeah, here, let me remind you of Exodus. Exodus 14:10-12. What was happening during this time where the Hebrews were fleeing slavery, right? Moses had done the whole let my people go thing, and they got up and they all decided to leave. And they're all leaving slavery, droves and droves of people going out at a time. And then the Pharaoh decided, no, actually I'm going to chase them anyway, right? So he has 600 chariots and charioteers and everything pursuing these people into the desert. And as Pharaoh approached, the Israelites looked up and there were the Egyptians marching after them. They were terrified and cried out to the Lord. They said to Moses, was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die? What have you done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? Didn't we say to you in Egypt, leave us alone, let us serve the Egyptians? It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert. So there's a lot going on. They're all freaked out. They're being chased by an army of highly trained, highly metal uniformed folks who are going to kill them. And they're saying, Moses, you screwed up. We should have stayed where we are. Basically, they're flailing around and freaking out, right? And so what does God say to Moses, and what does Moses say to the people? It says, do not be afraid. Stand firm and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And God said, beat that. You don't have a whole army of chariots chasing you into the sea, so if they can be told to be still, then you can be told to be still. And I said, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I can see in their situation being like, we're running literally for our lives, and then Moses says, be still. No, you don't understand. I'm running away from someone with a spear. I'm not going to stand still. That goes against everything in my being, which says I need to leap into action to preserve myself. Right? And he says, be still. I said, okay. And then the Lord brought me to Mark. He said, remember when Jesus was out on the lake and his disciples were on the boat with him, and there's this crazy storm and it's just like tearing up everything and freaking everybody out. And this is actually a famous painting. It's by James Tissot, and it's called Jesus Sleeping During the Tempest. And it illustrates what was going on in Mark 4, and that the disciples were beside themselves with worry, concern, and heartache over this, even though they had the Lord with them, who is unconcerned, who's sleeping there, right? So you see that guy over there kind of hanging on for dear life. This guy's grasping the mast. Over here, this guy's just like, oh no! They're all thinking their lives are going to end. They're calling out to God. They're all, finally they go and they wake Jesus up. And they say, Lord, you need to do something, because if you don't leap into action to preserve us, then we're going to drown, we're going to die. And so Jesus wakes up, and the word that he uttered to the sea, uttered loudly, depending on the version you read, was the same word, Rapha. Be still, he said. And then, what happens? The storm dies down. everything clears up. And I wonder how many times we are those people running around in circles when the storm is around us, right? Or how many times we're the storm, right? Going all sorts of crazy, and all we needed to do was just to be still. The New Life Version says, be quiet and know that I am God. I said, okay, well, I don't do that very well either. When am I quiet? I'm quiet when I'm in awe of something, when I'm being respectful to somebody, when I'm listening really well to music or something, when I'm really focused, like I'm reading some document that really requires translation or something, or if I'm emphasizing someone else, I'm stepping back so someone else can step forward, like in a meeting. And the Lord said, yeah, that's exactly what I want you to do. Except I want you to apply that to me. I want you to be quiet and be in awe and be with respect and listen and focus on what I'm doing in your life and emphasize the work of the Lord around you. Couple other translations, just for fun. Our God says, calm down and learn that I am God. God's Words translation says, let go of your concerns. Then you will know that I am God. Which brings us to number 2, which is the and part. Be still and know that I am God. God says, stop fighting and know that I am God. I'm the one who defeats the nations. I am the one who controls the world. New American Standard Bible says, cease striving and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. It's not your job to exalt me. I'm going to be exalted. It's not your job to run after what you think that I want you to do right now. Your job is to be still, because by nothing you do will I be exalted. Your personal initiative is no substitute for reliance on God. Oh, my slide didn't make it over. Okay, I'm going to read this one from here because you can't read it very well. But this is the Message's translation, which I love. It says, step out of the traffic. That's their way of saying be still. Step out of the traffic. Take a long, loving look at me, your high God, above politics, above everything. Not only don't get stuck in the traffic, step out of the traffic altogether. I know you want to help me, but Tamina, you need to be still. This is the rest of Psalm 46. I just want to read it for you quickly because it reminds us about who it is that we are knowing. God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble, so we will not fear when earthquakes come and the mountains crumble into the sea. Let the oceans roar and foam, let the mountains tremble as the waters surge. A river brings joy to the city of our God, the sacred home of the Most High. God dwells in that city. It cannot be destroyed. From the very break of day, God will protect it. The nations are in chaos and their kingdoms crumble. God's voice thunders and the earth melts. The Lord of heaven's armies is here among us. The God of Israel is our fortress. Come see the glorious works of the Lord. See how he brings destruction upon the world. He causes wars to end throughout the earth. He breaks the bow and snaps the spear. He burns the shield with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I will be honored throughout the world. The Lord of heaven's armies is here among us. The God of Israel is our fortress. God says, do you remember who I am? God says, be still and remember who I am and who you are in me. God says, I am who am, and you are mine. And so, be still. Be still and know 2 steps. So simple. So really, really hard. He says, be still and know. I'd like to ask the worship team to come up and play this song that they played for Love Offering. So this song has been in my head for about a month and a half now. I was a guest speaker at another church in Walnut Creek, and they played this song, and I really loved it. And I thought, wow, that really speaks to kind of how I'm feeling right now. And I said, I got to make a mental note to send that to Mia so that she knows that I'd like to introduce that song for the service today. And so, of course, I'm berating myself last night because I never did get that email sent off to Mia. And I'm like, okay, whatever, it's all right, we'll make it work, no problem. I don't need it. And then I went and I looked at her lineup that she had emailed, because I'm on the music team, I get the emails. And lo and behold, there's that song. And I emailed her, I said, did I ask you to play that song, or are you reading my mind? And she said, I think God read your mind and tapped me and said, play this song. So, I'd like to just end with this song. I'd like us all to be able to sing it together, and just remembering who we are in the Lord today. Maybe let's just sing, can we just do that, the bridge first? The I am who I say I am.
Who the sun sets free, who is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am.
Please stand.
Who the sun sets free, who is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's, in my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God, yes I am. Who the sun sets free, who is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God, yes I am.
Heavenly Father, Lord, we come together to pray to you today, to pray all together. Lord, you know we love you and we want to do what we think you want us to do. But Lord, there's so much going on right now. There are so many heavy hearts, and there are so many people in turmoil, and there are so many families in trouble, and relationships in trouble, and personal issues with finances and jobs and friends and everything out there, Lord. And it just seems so big. It seems too big, Lord, for you to say to me, just sit back and relax. In fact, Lord, I feel like if I do that, then I'm dishonoring you. I feel like I'm not taking charge of my life and moving in the direction that you want me to move in, and being your presence out there in the world. And Lord, to hear today that it's okay, that all you really need for me to do, and not that you need anything, but what my job is, because I need a job, I need to go forward, I need to do, is just to be still. Lord, that's really, really difficult. Lord, I'm used to thinking that I'm the one who makes my life go round. I'm used to thinking that my actions equal results, that everything that I do is going to produce a better future for me, for my family, or worse, depending on what I take control of what I do in my life, how responsible I am, how much money I save. I'm not used to you, Lord, saying, don't do. And yet here I am, a bit of a mess, a little crazy, feeling stuck and unfulfilled and like I don't belong in the skin that you put me in. And so I get it, Lord. You've been letting me run like that. But if I want to bring peace to my heart, if I want to bring peace to my home, if I want to bring peace to my family, if I want to bring your love to others around me, the first thing I need to do is be still. And the second thing that I need to do is know who you are and know who I am in you. I am not a task-rabbit, I am not a busybody, I am the child of the Lord Most High, and the Lord said, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that no matter what you think you have planned for yourself today, and no matter what color you think your hair is going to be when you come out of the salon, it's going to be green, and you didn't know that ahead of time. God said, no matter what plans you think you have for your life, I'm the one who knows your path. I'm the one who knows your way. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just be still. Be calm. Be quiet, Tamina, for once in your life. Step back. Let go. Don't be concerned. Why? Because I am God. Because he who has started a good thing in me will carry it to completion. Because he who owns the heavens and the earth and who's made all of us from largest to smallest, he's the one who got this. And I thank you, Lord, that not only are you the one in charge and not me, but that you say, sister, take the time to relax. Take the time to embrace who you are in the love of the Lord. And the fact that you are not going to do anything on this earth that is going to get you closer to God's purpose or God's whatever it is. And that it's only the Lord who can bring you there. And so all you need to do is sit back on that boat and let that bring you there. Let God guide your journey. Let God be the one who is captain of your vessel today. And bring others on the ride and say, come relax with me. Come sit back with me. Because this is what the peace of the Lord is. It's not running around. It's not struggle. It's not trying to make everybody else see your way. It's not trying to get everything done that's on your to-do list today. It's not trying to fix every problem that's popping up. The Lord says, relax and enjoy the ride. Invite others to come join me on this ship. Be still and know that I am who I am. Lord, we thank you for this amazing group of hearts that you've brought together to worship you today. We thank you for being there for us, and we just ask your blessing, Lord, amongst all of us. As we deal with all the many things we deal with on a daily basis, be they big or small. And we thank you, Lord, for that little reminder that every once in a while you can look in a window and see something that just says, I love you, be still. We ask you, Lord, to take care of our family who are traveling, who are at camp today, who are all over the place, Lord, and bring them this same message of your peace. And we thank you for them, Lord, and we thank you for your presence in our lives today. In your name we pray. Amen. Thank you all for being with us and worshiping with us today. Thank you for being here for each other. I wish you a most blessed week. Go out there, bless the world, bless each other, greet each other in the love of the Lord. You never know who's going to need that hug from you today. And we'll ask the worship team to close us up with this song to remind us who we are in God and who we are to each other. Thank you very much. We'll see you